Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will do what's necessary to win the war and defeat its enemies. Any deal to end the fighting without defeating Hamas is a non-starter.
Israeli forces continue preparations to launch an assault on the last Hamas stronghold in Rafah, where the remaining hostages may be held captive. Chris Mitchell brings us the story from Jerusalem.
Israeli troops and tanks continue to gather near Rafah for an expected military operation. Rafah is where many believe the leaders of Hamas are hiding, as well as the remaining battalions of Hamas fighters. It's also thought to be the location of the last remaining hostages. While Hamas seems to reject the latest ceasefire offer, it apparently wants negotiations to continue, a tactic that could be intended to forestall the IDF's invasion. But Israel's prime minister says they will move ahead with their plans for an assault.
We will do what is necessary in order to win and overcome our enemies, including in Rafah, in order to secure our future.
Two top Hamas demands are that Israel ends the war against the terrorist group and that all Israeli troops leave the Gaza Strip. But Netanyahu told visiting U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken a deal to end the war without defeating Hamas is a non-starter. Meanwhile, along the northern border, negotiations to broker a peace between Hezbollah and Israel appear stalled. In light of that, Israel's military chief of staff, Herzi Halevi, told commanders Israel is getting ready for an attack on Hezbollah.
You are doing an excellent job of operational defense in the north, and now we are preparing for an offensive operation as well.
Samer Jijia, a prominent Christian politician in Lebanon, says Hezbollah constant attacks on Israel since October 7th are hurting Lebanon more than Israel. The tit-for-tat shellings and bombings have killed 22 Israelis, but the death toll is much higher in Lebanon itself, more than 350. Jijia says Hezbollah should pull all its militia forces away from the Lebanese border with Israel. In a major economic development, Israel's foreign minister, Israel Katz, slammed Turkey's President Erdogan after Turkey announced it's stopping all trade with Israel and banning all imports and exports because of the war in Gaza. Katz said this is how a dictator behaves, by ignoring international trade agreements. Turkey is a top trading partner with Israel. Despite some international opposition to Israel, Christians are showing they stand by the Jewish state this weekend with what's called Solidarity Sunday. As part of that, Bishop Robert Stern's group, Eagle's Wings, is bringing Israeli survivors of October 7th to talk to American church congregations.
So American Christians are going to have not only the opportunity, but the responsibility this coming Sunday, Solidarity Sunday, to hear from these survivors firsthand.
Stern says America faces the same battle as Israel.
The battle that Israel is facing is a battle for modern Western democratic values, and all of us have to wake up and understand they're on the front lines, but this battle affects all of us.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
This battle does affect all of us who love freedom, that love freedom of conscience, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly. If you want to look at apartheid states, look at what happened in Israel when Jordan controlled the West Bank and East Jerusalem. If you were Jewish, you were not allowed to live or even walk in the Jewish quarter. All the synagogues were destroyed. The Jewish graves were desecrated. The Jordanian army put latrines over Jewish graves. That is what is at stake here. When you look at Israel today and see that it respects all the holy sites, all the major Abrahamic religions, it's the only country in the Middle East where the Christian population is actually growing. When you see all of that, that is what is at stake. And we here in America need to recognize that. And when you hear the call from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, what that call is for the elimination of the Jewish people in Israel, completely wiping them out, wiping out even their memory, destroying every synagogue, killing every Jew. That's what that means. That is not freedom, and we need to stand with Israel in this fight.